Hey everybody, welcome to Mammoth Interactive's YouTube channel. First of all, I want to thank you for watching this video. And remember that this channel doesn't do Patreon. Instead, we sell our digital courses down below. And every single dollar that we get from the products you buy below goes into making more content. The best way to help out this channel and Mammoth Interactive is to subscribe to Mammoth Interactive's huge library of content. Get thousands of hours and hundreds of courses for a low price down below. We have a monthly option and a yearly option. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you in the video.
Okay, today we're going to be playing around with the physics engine of Blender, or the sort of physics simulations in Blender. It should be quite simple to use. All we have to do is just click on the selected object and go into its simulation or physics options. Well, first you have to enable the physics options in said objects. Okay, to start off, let's go ahead and delete the lights and cameras because we don't really exactly need those. I am going to go into let's just check out a cube right here. Let's go over into physics properties. That is where you turn on the pieces or simulation options right here. I'm just going to kind of open up the options tab here. Going to give us more room to kind of see what we have right here. First off, I am thinking of not using the cube here as our main cloth where we kind of play around with and mess around with the physics around it. I am going to create just a simple plane. That way we have it'll be less sort of a burden on our computer, and it should be a lot smoother to kind of play around with. I'm gonna go ahead, we're gonna create Shift A, create mesh plane. Click on S, scale this guy up, like let's go like something like this. Click G and Z to move this above our cube. Now as you can see, we have a plane. Actually, I was gonna turn on our gizmo for move. That way we can kind of just freely move things a lot faster. Okay, let's see. We have our plane, and I'm just gonna go ahead and turn on the cloth physics. As you can see, you have all these different options of playing around with how the cloth option or cloth simulation behaves. You got like multiple like quality options, the way how the cloth kind of clumps up, stiffness, dampening, got lots of options. I'm just going to leave this as default right now and just kind of show you how it works. Right now, if we want to sort of have it actually play, we'll need it to sort of interact with the animation tab, or we'll need to use the animation tab to kind of see how our simulation plays out. To do that, it's quite simple. We just kind of drag the menu over here down low. You're going to click on play and you'll see how it works. And as you can see, the cloth just goes through the cube. That is because there is no collision on our second object right here, making it so that the cloth just passes straight through it, and it is, it's not interacting with anything, and it just falls straight through. So what we need to do next is to use our cube here. I should probably reset this. Just drag this back on our animation sort of tab. You also kind of notice that currently there's like this green, or not green, this blue line right here. That kind of is the preloaded animation option, or preloaded sort of animated or simulated option that is shown in Blender right now. So if we do any changes, it's going to change that up, and we'll need to sort of preload once again. What that does basically just makes it a lot smoother for you to kind of play around with your simulations, because it's already done the calculations for you up to like a certain point. You can kind of scrub through. Anyways, we are going to go over into the cube option now. And to make it so that it isn't a transparent object right here and it actually interacts with the plane right there, we're gonna need to turn on the collisions option, which is right over here. Quite simple. Viewed absorption, you got all these other options here as well. And we're not going to do anything with it because we just want it as sort of an object that's floating there. And it's quite simple. We just leave it as default. I'm going to go back into the cloth. And we don't need to go back right now. You can click on play and we'll see what happens. Click on play and boom, it should just stop right there. Now that is because our current plane right here isn't exactly a cloth yet. It's still just like, think of it as like a sheet of metal right now. We got no ridges, we got nothing. There's no edges anywhere, no bend points for it to kind of interact or kind of shapeshift in a way for it to look like an actual piece of cloth. So what we need to do is just simply turn this into a more detailed looking plane, which is quite simple. All you have to do is just go into edit mode, right click, and subdivide. I'm just going to go Shift R a few times. I think this should be good enough. We can go even more if you want it to look more silky smooth. But yeah, just jump out, go into object mode once again, click on play, and you'll see that it has now turned into a piece of cloth. And we can just pause this, kind of see how it has simulated the cloth-like texture, or like the way a piece of cloth kind of falls down and hits an object. And yeah, there you go. We have a simple looking cloth. Now, if we were to, say, increase the amount of subdivisions, it will look even smoother. But at the same time, with more sort of ridges all around, it's just gonna be a hell of a high sort of how to explain it. It's gonna use your resources a lot more, and it is going to kind of lag your system. So sometimes you don't want to go too crazy. You just want it to be enough, kind of play around with first. But yeah, anyways, let's go in, click on play once again. You'll see that it has slowed down, but at the same time, it looks a lot smoother than before. Also, we should probably turn on some of the tensile strength on its sort of options right here, because it's kind of collapsing on itself in some specific areas. Like some points when it was like swinging by, you can kind of see it crashing into itself. I'm gonna make it so that self collision is on, so when you play it, it shouldn't really collapse in on itself. There should be like some sort of safety net-ish option on it. And yeah, that is looking pretty good. So a simple simulation, or a simple cloth simulation. And yeah, you can feel the lag coming from your like systems right there. Yeah, that's just a very easy way of playing with simulations in Blender, or just cloth simulations. Again, it's just really the basic of basics right here. Yeah, thanks for watching. I will see you in the next video. Okay, now that we've gotten the hang of kind of playing around with this basic cloth simulation, let's go ahead and kind of move on to a little bit more of a different type of cloth simulation, aka we're going to be making some basic clothes. Now, before we make like the, I'm thinking maybe a tank top, or just like a shirt, maybe a t-shirt would probably be pretty decent. We are going to need to make a sort of a character model, or maybe just a torso would be good enough. You can bring it in from anywhere, but I think I'm just going to make mine from scratch. So yeah, for the next video, I'm just going to go ahead and maybe just do a quick model of like a person's torso. Afterwards, we will go ahead and just sort of play around with the further steps or the next steps of making actual sort of clothing with the cloth simulation option. So yeah, I will see you in the next video. Okay, now that we have our torso figure sort of created right here, we can go ahead and sort of move on to the next step of actually creating the t-shirt sort of template, t-shirt, or I guess undershort, or sleeveless shirt, whatever type of shirt you want to design. You'll need to kind of create some sort of template for it to kind of stick onto our torso right here. The more detailed you have, the better it'll look in your sort of simulation. That's why I kind of built it a little bit, just an extra bit more like detailed with more like sort of muscle mass on it. In fact, I feel like we could maybe do more, like add in more bulky angles to it to make it look even nicer. I think I should probably extend this down just a slight bit more. Something like this. I'll just make it reach like sort of lower point. Again, it's just a simple kind of mannequin. We don't have to go too crazy with it. Actually, the only craziness that you want to go for would be the sculpted muscle structures. And I kind of feel like the muscle structures here are still kind of lagging. I need to like extend this outwards, something like this, and pull this outwards. Check it out. Could add like an additional pec or not. We'll actually just make this a little bit more forwards. Okay, seems slightly better. Grab these guys, pull these outwards, pluck them up a little bit, get like the better looking ab structures here and there. But anyways, we have that torso completed. We're gonna go on to next create the sort of t-shirt structure. First off, I am just gonna apply our sort of structure or a mirror right here, and I am going to create a plane. Let's go with like a single plane right here and increase the size, and let's flip this on the x-axis by 90 degrees. That way it's like sort of forwards. And I'm going to place this like roughly in front. Let's go into edit mode and add in the half onto the front structure right here. Let's just delete one side, go back over here, mirror, modifier, mirror, turn on clipping. Okay. And what we have right here is sort of just like the front surface of our t-shirt template. I'm going to try and kind of cover as best we can. I'm going to go into semi-transparent, Alt-Z, and see what we need to cut out. Okay, so if we're going for a sleeveless shirt, I'll need, I guess, that sort of neck hole area, the armhole area. We just need like a little string on top. If we want a t-shirt, we'll need to expand this outwards. But let's just, let's go with like the most simplest sort of shirt design, which is, again, sleeveless. I'm going to go into object, edit mode. Select all faces, subdivide this, Shift R a few times. Just going to go with like this amount for now. I'm going to grab these top surfaces right there. I'll grab like this extra here. Delete faces. And I am going to use our sort of proportional editing option. I'm going to turn that, increase the size. I'm going to shape this in a better looking sort of position right here. Should probably drag these guys inwards. I don't want it too close where it kind of collapses on itself. And wait, okay, that seems decent enough. I think that, yeah, that kind of looks okay. Let's see. Alt-Z. I think it's a little bit bunched up down here. Should probably increase the size over here. A little bit too skin tight. Whatever. I'll leave it like this. Something on this lines. And I'm going to select all should be an option to smooth this. I'm just gonna scroll this down, smooth this just a tiny bit. Seems pretty good. Then I'm gonna go back over here, scale Z0, flatten it out. Oops, should probably turn off proportional, scale Z0, flat. And let's just go back to sort of like movement based. Okay, we have that sort of shirt. It's a little short for my taste. I'm gonna just extrude this downwards. Maybe increase this bottom size right here. Proportional editing. Kind of just drag this out. Okay, and there you go. Now we just need to sort of take this piece and expand it or extrude it all the way through. I should probably go into edit mode, select all these guys. I'm gonna extrude this. Oops, let's go y-axis. And extrude it all the way through. Now I need to go in to, let's go Alt-Z. Gonna go into face mode, click on this, control click to roughly where the sleeve would be. Let's delete those faces. We'll need this section to, like, I guess down to here would be a decent size hole. Delete faces, there you go. And this section to this section, delete faces, there you go. Now we're just left with these structures. I'll need to grab this right here. Grab these surfaces right here. With those selected, we're going to go over to the object data tab right here. And we're going to create a vertex group for these guys. So I'm just going to go ahead and create new. And I am going to assign it to that group. Just in case, deselect, select that. It should come up. I'm going to just rename this just in case. Let's call this sewing or sewing wires. And that should be good. Before we move on even further, I'm thinking of sort of subdividing these guys just in case, because I feel like the amount of subdivisions that we have right here still are a little bit lacking. So let's just go ahead, right click, subdivide. That seems decent enough. Okay, deselect, select those. Okay, we gotta make sure to remove the assignment because it's kind of bordering on these sections now. Since we've subdivided it, just gonna double check, make sure they're all selected. Okay, so once again, Alt click on those, Shift Alt click on these, assign to those, and we have these wires selected once again. Okay, good. Now I'm just gonna go ahead, delete faces only. Now we're just left with some wires right here. Perfect. Okay, let's see. Modifiers, we could technically leave it for now, just in case we want to add in more details. It shouldn't really affect the simulation, but yeah, we'll just leave it there for now. I'm gonna go into the simulation or physics tab over here. Go back into object mode just in case. I am going to go to the, where are you, cloth, and with cloth simulation open. We're gonna just scroll down a little bit. Internal springs, pressure, there should be a sewing option hidden somewhere. Oh, actually the shape's right here. Scroll down. Okay, sewing is on. We need to increase sewing force. I'm thinking, let's jump it up to, let's go like 10. And shrink factor, we are going to set this to like, I don't know, let's try 0.01. Okay, enter. And Where are you? Self collision. I'm gonna turn on self collision just in case, so it makes it so that it doesn't, crash through its own material. And that should be good for our sort of basic setup for the cloth sewing option right here. Now we can basically try and simulate it and see how it looks. Oh, I almost forgot. We forgot to set a collision for our body right here. Right now it's just invisible to the cloth simulation. That's why when you see it, the cloth is just going into the body. But yeah, that's a good sign that the cloth was shrinking in and sort of trying to collapse on itself. So I'm just going to make sure to add in a collision onto this guy right here. And once again, let's go into play. And that is looking pretty good. Yeah, so as you can see right here, our cloth has now sewn itself onto the structure. And you can kind of see those like sewn lines right there. And yeah, that it's sort of conforming to the body right here. It's looking pretty decent. I wonder if I smooth this out, if it'll look even better. Shade smooth. Yeah, it's actually looking pretty good. There's still some areas that needs like some work. As you can see, it's kind of crashing through the collision. We might need to tweak the settings a little bit, make it so that there are a little bit more space in between the cloth and the sort of collision object right here. Oh, also, I'm going to just set this back into flat shade, because if you put it in smooth shade, sometimes it just lags it a little bit, because it's sort of pushing the system to do more, like, making it so that it looks nicer and blurs all the sort of sections right here. But yeah, there you go. We got a fairly decent looking sort of snap to it, sort of cloth right here. Has some issues. I guess because it's a little bit small. Could increase this size just by a little bit more. That might help it as well. Click on play. And yeah, let it simulate, kind of sew to it. That looks better. It kind of fixed up the little issue, the crashing issue right there. We could, once again, do more tweaking of this settings right here. I feel like the sewing force should be a little bit stronger. Let's go like, 12. Might seem good. Oops. Go back, click play, let it crash through. Yeah, it's a lot tighter right there. But yeah, that's some simple sort of sewing right there. Again, this is just some basic sort of template for the shirt. We can add in additional sort of sewing points, or like, I guess sleeves really, or like details on this structure, and kind of have it sewn together. And you can kind of custom fit and design whatever shirts you want for your sort of, well, your clothing designs that you want to throw onto your characters. Yeah, that's pretty simple, pretty easy for like a basic sort of sewing tutorial right there. We can continue on with like more additional, again, more detailed types of like, or different types of sewing pieces. Anyways, that's pretty much it for that. Thanks for watching. I will see you next time.
Hey everyone, thanks for watching this course. If you want to watch the rest of the course, the link is down below. Not only will you get the access to this course, but you'll get access to a lot of other courses in a huge bundle, and it's on sale today. So buy it before the sale ends. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in another video.